Hip-hop diet is full of guys who cannot even rap. Facts. Media dividing us by colors, white or black. Facts. If you believe in Jesus, these days Christians get attacked. Facts. If you don't hate police, then everybody thinks you're whack. And everything's so connected. Black Lives Matter got so aggressive. White folks who agree can't support the message. Both sides go to war because they don't respect it. Our social climate from the global tension turned to total violence and a whole depression. We can unify and then I'll go against them, but we let them divide us with votes and elections. Hey, the music we bump, all about shooting guns and doing drugs. Hey, whoa. The things that we want are promoted subliminally through the songs, like you need a fast car, you need designer clothes, you need a rap star to tell you to start popping pills, hit the blunt and go live at the club till you're broke. It's all controlled by the elites, put fake news all over our screens, convincing the right to go fight with the left and distract from the fact it's each other we need. Divided by race and religion, segregated into teams. You a white supremacist. If you're not, I guess you Antifa. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter. Freedom's dead. If you have an opinion, take it back. Facts. People hate the president. If you don't, then you trash. Facts. Indoctrinate the nation using news and mainstream rap. Facts. The government abuses us. It's all part of the plan. Facts. And it's so confusing. Black Lives Matter is a valuable movement, but all lives matter ain't racist or stupid. It's non-black humans who don't feel included. All colors fall under laws that govern the whole country, and we all suffer. We're all broke and nobody recovers until we accept that we're all brothers. Hey, the music we make, all about big booties and getting paid. Hey, whoa. We watch the news and it fills up our brains with violence and riots and race. Like this is a race war. You need to hate more. Get what you came for. You need some songs about Xanax and violence so you can escape more. What a vicious cycle we can't break away from. They control the culture, they control the paper. They're indoctrinating a whole generation till the patriots start to hate the nation. The music we love make us dumb and addicted. The news that we watch is brainwashing the children. The viruses, riots, and racist conditions ain't problems, they're symptoms of life in the system. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter. The music will make you dumb, the media makes you hate, and they control them both. There ain't no escape. They put the world in a state of chaos, economy crashing and massive layoffs. Black against white or it's left versus right. Divide and conquer and control is the payoff. Screaming from the rooftops, beat down better. Turn us on each other now, no lives matter. If we do what the news wants, blood gon' splatter. Turn us on each other till no lives matter. I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to say it and not get strung up in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need the chains. They gave us tiny screens, we think we free cause we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings. I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they...
Hello, guys, and welcome again to an episode of Brutally Honest with Nathan and Brian. I'm Nathan, and like always, the other gentleman on this call, his name is Brian. What's up, Brian?
Daggone, I'm still on mute. What's up?
Already making a mistake. You need to stick
We
to what
can't.
you're best.
We can't do this show without something screwing up on us somewhere. That's for sure.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
everybody. Glad you guys can be here watching us.
Yep, you need to stick to what you're doing best, which is sausage sword fighting. You're an absolute champion at sausage sword fighting, and
Hey.
I say this every week because I'm telling you, it's something to watch. I mean, he can truly hang in there with the best of them in that sausage sword fighting, man.
Hey, if any of you all out there see Nathan outside somewhere, or if you send him any messages on Facebook or text message and you know him, start calling him Spooner instead of Nathan, because he loves to spoon with guys.
Hey, it's only gay if you make eye contact, okay? I want to make sure we tell our audience this. It's only gay if you make eye contact. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we got
$20 is $20, and I had to pay the bills.
But no, anyway, we got a pretty good show going on this week. We're going to talk about some different stuff, and hey, I'm going to get right into it, and I'm going to let Brian take us off. So, Brian, what do you want to talk about, man? So, what's been going on?
Well, first thing that I want to talk about, because I have been just absolutely enjoying life over about the last month and a half by getting out of the area that I live in and going to an area that is allowing for freedom. And me and my wife have been spending a lot of time down in Tennessee around the Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge area.
Beautiful area.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. We love it down there. I mean, it has kept our spirits up for, the entire time that we've been down there. Main reason I want to talk about it is because that area down there has lifted their mask mandates. In fact, the first time we were down, then the one thing that ended up happening is on April the 15th, then they were no longer, going to keep the mask mandate in place for the people around, that were in there visiting and stuff. And I mean, we saw them pull the signs off the doors. You go down there and you'll see people who still, who are wearing them.
That's cool.
They're still being cautious. That's fine.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That was my thing. If people want to wear them, wear them. That's awesome. It's just people making us wear them, and then people selectively enforcing it against other people. There's some people they don't enforce it on because it's their buddy, and then there's some people they enforce it on, like me, because I look like an asshole. So it's easy to be like, hey, put a mask on, and then two other people walk in and they don't tell them to put a mask on. We're creating a mess. So anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Keep going, man.
Oh, that's all right. The one thing we love though is, I mean, we could go in places to eat. We could go in any stores. We could walk around anywhere maskless completely. The majority of people were, and I mean, you saw folks smiling, enjoying their time. It was just absolutely amazing. Well, we went again this past week, and we're up there for 6 days. Well, the thing is they finally dropped it on all businesses as well. So they made it up to them as to how they wanted to handle it. We were watching them sawzall the plastic barriers that they had up around the counters and things off of, just area after area. It was absolutely the greatest thing to see. I mean, it's just, if anybody out there is sick and tired of what it is that they're dealing with, if they're tired of being around, seeing nothing but masked sheep everywhere, and they want to go someplace where they feel freedom all over again, get your butts down to Tennessee, up to Tennessee, wherever it is you want to go. Whichever direction you got to head in, get to Tennessee. Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area, absolutely amazing, beautiful place. Tons of things to do. The people are amazing and just as nice as can be. And it's pure freedom, people. Go do it. Enjoy it. It'll de-stress you being in a place like that.
I want to point out something. So if you guys, and I challenge you guys, anybody that's watching this right now, anytime, look up the states that have the highest cases and the highest death rate of coronavirus. And guess what, guys? It is not the states that have lifted the mandates. The states that have the most strict lockdowns are the states that have the most cases still and have had the most deaths. I'm talking about California, New York, Texas, Florida, doing great. Michigan doing terrible. Michigan's almost still locked down. I mean, they're starting to relax them. But it comes to show you that, eventually they're going to do some science on whether the lockdowns helped. It's obvious that the lockdowns haven't helped or even slowed it down. But what the lockdowns did do was created a flow of wealth from middle-class businesses and middle-class people, and it transferred that wealth to the richest 1% and record pacing. That's what it really did. These corporations aren't hurting at all. They're doing great under the lockdowns. The people that are suffering under the lockdowns are mainly family-owned businesses. And the damage of knowing, hey, you got an extra $20,000 in your pocket. Are you really going to go start a new business right now? Because what happens if, a COVID outbreak, we're going to restrict. Next thing you know, you're restricted. You can't serve your customers. You're out of business, and you just wasted $20K. So that you're going to the Biden administration. There's a report that came out that they are completely nervous about our economy. They are scared shitless right now because of the economy. Inflation is going through the roof right now. Gas is going through the roof right now. People aren't going to work right now. So you got governors that are passing, trying to cancel people's benefits to get people working. So, that's where we're at. And a big part of it is the Biden administration, which I'm going to switch gears really quickly. I'm going to stay on the Biden administration. I want to tell you what that old goofy bastard did this week. Okay. The goofy bastard, Joe Biden, he lifted sanctions on a Russian pipeline this week. Okay. Yep. It had bipartisan support in Congress not to remove these sanctions, meaning that Republicans and Democrats agreed that it wasn't a good idea to do it, but he did it. Why'd he do it? He's signing executive orders to shut down pipelines here in America.
There, buddy.
And Canada because the environment, but yet he's lifting sanctions on the pipeline in Russia. And the other weird thing about this is I've spoken to a few Democrat buddies of mine. I had no idea of this. They had no idea that they were doing this. If Donald Trump was in office and he removed sanctions from a pipeline in Russia while shutting down a pipeline in America, they'd be like, oh my God, he's in bed with Vladimir Putin. He's a Russian spy. Russia, Russia, Russia. Democrats didn't even know it was happening this week because the mainstream media didn't even cover it.
But the funny thing is how they talk about it's with Russia. Everything that they use, it's with Russia. Funny thing is, hey, what's in Russia? The Ukraine.
Correct.
What's Biden got his hand in?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, exactly.
Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
His brother. Nancy Pelosi's son.
Yep.
Right there, buddy. Right there's where it is. That's all over in Russia. That's the Ukraine.
Exactly. And I guarantee you that had a lot to do with that, considering, like I said, in Congress, it had bipartisan. They don't agree on shit. Okay. I mean, they can't agree on anything in Congress, but Congress agreed not to do that. And Biden did it anyway. Meanwhile, he shut down a pipeline here. It cost at least $20,000 jobs while we're in a crisis where people aren't working. It makes no. I've been talking to people all week about how, Trump said mean things. Trump was a asshole. He said mean things, but you cannot argue his policy. You cannot argue what he did for the country. Joe Biden is like Obama, right? They say all the right things. They're calm, they're collect, but look at their policy. Look at what's going on. And when you confront a Democrat they try to blame anything else other than what the gas prices are. It has nothing to do with Biden. They give Biden the benefit of the doubt on everything by saying, it don't matter. Numbers don't matter. Trump was an asshole. Numbers don't matter. Give me it matters because it's affecting your pocketbook. And if you're not looking out for your pocketbook, then what the hell are you looking out for, man?
I saw a Democrat post NASDAQ numbers, how high the NASDAQ numbers are compared to when Trump was in there. Right. The funny thing is what do the NASDAQ numbers reflect?
Big corporate.
Well, big corporates make it. Big corporates making a fortune right now.
Oh yeah, well that was the other thing. I mean, while Trump was in office, the NASDAQ broke I don't know how many records. It was skyrocketing, and every Democrat was like, "Yeah, that's his trickle down economic policies." And now they're bringing that up like, I mean, they don't have a pot to piss in, and they know it. They just don't like Trump because of his attitude, the way he talked to people, and the stuff like that. And that's not, like I said, who gives a shit? It's all about policy and what somebody does for you. And at the current rate right now, where jobs aren't going nowhere, Taxes are going to be, they're wanting to raise taxes. Gas is raising, hell,
hyperinflation.
Yep, hyperinflation, big time inflation. Milk,
Yep.
coffee, lumber, everything is raising. Corn, yeah, wheat, everything's going to continue to raise. And by God, they don't care because of the mean guy in office. They don't give a shit that they're getting completely screwed. I, a million years thought, the guy with the smile on his face that tells you exactly what you want to hear is exactly, and he can screw you right in the ass. And that's the type of people Americans want versus somebody that's blunt, straightforward, and fights for you and changes things that benefits all Americans, poor, rich, white, black, whatever the hell. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. And the thing is the one thing I've figured out is there's a really, really good reason why it is that you can't argue with a liberal or a Democrat. It's because you can't have an intelligent argument with someone who is so ill-informed. All the news that they watch, they're the liberal professors in schools, in colleges, what they're teaching, they're keeping these people ignorant and ill-informed by their ideologies, their lies, basically the way that they have manipulated narratives of history, of economy, of everything else. They're making an ignorant society, an unbelievable ignorant society.
They're dividing white and black. They're dividing mask wearers versus non-mask wearers. They're dividing the vaccinated against the vaccinated. They're anything they can do to divide. And recently on a Facebook post, look, I'm not going to get vaccinated. I'm not going to do it. And I commented why. My body, my choice. And if you're vaccinated, why the hell are you worried if I am or not?
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. Like, I do not understand that at all. If you're vaccinated, why are you worried about me being vaccinated?
Well, and the other thing is, explain this to me. Okay. They want every single person out there, every person possible, children, teenagers, young adults, elderly, to get this vaccine.
Yeah.
To protect them from one virus. One virus. How do viruses work? Viruses, they just stay their course until that virus has passed through people, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
A new virus takes its place. Okay. What is this big concern about getting this specific vaccine that is supposed to protect you from one specific virus that they consider so dangerous and deadly? But the thing is what happens when the next virus comes around? And the next virus comes around. What good is, if viruses have to maintain their course until they're done, once that virus is done, it's gone. A new one has to take its place. A new mutation has to take its place. It's what we've dealt with our entire lives when it comes to viruses. We don't get the same virus over and over and over again.
It's extremely weird, and I've talked to liberals about it, and they make every excuse on. We've effectively cured the flu. Flu's been cured, all right, but that's just because we wear masks and social distance, according to liberals. Okay, the science behind the masks is they do not help. A cotton mask doesn't help. Me going in a place like this is no different than me going in a place like this. And by the way, I've done that very many times. I walked in a place to eat while I was on vacation. They told me to put a mask on. I looked right at him and I did this. I walked like this. I really did that. I sure as hell did. Because it's bullshit. It is absolutely, and I'm sorry. I'm just tired of it. Most people are tired of it. And, really, the only one thing else I want to say about COVID tonight, okay? The head of the CDC was being interviewed this week. Not interviewed, but was sitting in front of the Congress or the Senate. I can't remember exactly if it was which one. And there was two questions that they asked her that I thought were very interesting. The first question was, where did the COVID virus come from? Where did it come from? She couldn't answer. She did not. She said, I did not know. Meaning meaning they're not confirming that it came from a wet market in China.
So now they're not even admitting to Wuhan, China.
Well, they said she didn't. She said she didn't know. No, it wasn't that the location. It was where did it originate, and she couldn't say if it was if it came from the wet market. She couldn't say. She didn't say. She did not deny when asked if it could have came from the lab. She said it could have came from the lab. It could have come from the lab in Wuhan. And the other question that she was asked was how many labs in the world do studies on dangerous viruses, and she said she didn't know.
Oh, so, come on now.
She did.
We all know that one.
Well, she said that, and the senator asked her the question. Well, I'm sure you, being the head of the CDC, can make one phone call and find out.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're getting to the point now to where they're going to start doing more and more investigations on all of this. I mean, that it's really interesting to me that they were dead set that it didn't come from a lab in Wuhan. It was dead set the wet market. And now they're not telling you that, hey, they're telling you that it's equal. It could have came from the lab. It could have came from the wet market. Hell, it could have came from anywhere. It's just awfully interesting that, China effectively cured the virus like that, I guess, because they didn't have any major outbreaks. Then we had a major outbreak, and a year later, India had a major outbreak. It's all, I don't know. It's getting to where people need to start asking the questions. I'm not trying to indulge conspiracy theory.
No, we need to put our boots on because the shit's getting deep.
Yeah, it's getting more and more deep, and you're getting more and more control. You could tell. I mean, they're really fighting to keep masks on. But hey, look at the states that had the most lockdowns versus the states that didn't have lockdowns and relieved all mandates, like Texas. There's no question that the states with the most lockdowns had the most cases and the most deaths when other states completely removed them. It's obvious that, a lot of people need to start looking at state politics, Republicans and Democrats and Republican and Democrat states. What is a good, hardcore Democrat city in the United States of America that doesn't have homelessness and high crime? Name one.
None. That's the one thing. You want to win any argument. With a Democrat, liberal, whatever, just ask them. That's it. Name one large metropolitan Democrat-run city that is not full of corruption, crime, and poverty. And name one.
Democrat. It's not that it flipped. They've always been Democrat. I mean, just some off the top of my head, man. Baltimore, Chicago, all of the cities in
Detroit,
California, Detroit, Seattle, New York. High crime. They have the most strict gun laws, but have the highest gun crime. And that's something that is never addressed. How can Chicago, Detroit, Flint, all these places lead the nation in gun violence, but have the strictest gun laws? And their argument is that we need gun laws. People need to start using the lump 3 feet above their ass. You know what I mean? You need to be able to pass an IQ test to vote.
Yep, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the thing is okay, somebody tell me, when is Whitmer and Cuomo going to be held accountable for what they did in both of their states?
Oh, yeah, they killed old people. Absolutely killed old people. And Cuomo gets $1 million book deal about, all that. But now Cuomo's hurting because of all the sexual allegations against him, so. But that's the thing. Accountability doesn't exist in politics, and it's trickling down. You're talking about trickle down politics. That's trickling down to the rest of society. Politicians don't get held accountable. So now people aren't getting held accountable. I mean, you don't have to try to be good at anything, and you get rewarded as long as you claim to be a minority. I mean, it's so crazy, and that's what I don't like. There's things I'm really trying to look at the bright sides of everything. I try not to pretend that this person's a Democrat and this person's a Republican. I want to analyze policy. And that's why I'm going to shift gears, and I'm going to talk about abortion for a second. So if we look at where both parties stand on abortion, right? If you're far left, by God, even after 9 months, you should be able to abort the baby. Okay, that's the far left stance. And they've been on. There's plenty of the governor of Virginia is even on record saying this. Okay, if you're far right, it needs to be absolutely illegal, right? Even if you get raped by your damn uncle, abortion should be illegal. Far right. Okay. My personal opinion on abortion is it needs to be, right down the damn middle. It needs to be legal and rare. Abortion should be legal and rare. And if the father it wants to be in the woman's life and raise the baby, it needs to be both of their decisions, not just the woman's decision.
Absolutely.
Now, if the father is a piece of shit and just knocks the lady up and disappears, yeah, woman, 100% her body, 100% her choice. But if the father wants to be there, he needs to have a say, some of the say so. Now, the thing that I researched the how many black babies were born in a 4-year time frame, and you can Google this yourself, guys. And I researched how many black babies were aborted. Okay. From the time period that I researched, there were 113,000 black babies born and 136 in the same time frame thousand black babies aborted. There's more black babies aborted than born. So is that legal and rare? No, that's not legal. No, but... And Planned Parenthood, not only does Planned Parenthood, they're a for-profit organization. Planned Parenthood is a for-profit organization that our taxes go to provide people abortions. Planned Parenthood strategically places
yep.
Their abortion clinics in minority communities. That's bullshit.
That was part of the objective that the woman that started Planned Parenthood had. It was to wipe out a ton of the black population.
Black Lives Matter, right? Why, if Black Lives Matter to Black Lives Matter, why, if Black Lives Matter to Black Lives Matter, please answer me this question. Why is there more black babies aborted than born? That is 100% fact. Look it up. I challenge any of you to look it up. Comment on my personal page. You can comment on the Brutally Honest page. I'm absolutely 100% right. If abortion was rare, there wouldn't be more black babies aborted than born. I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with abortion. It should be legal and rare. But that, using our tax dollars to fund it, not even in our country, but other countries, and then I want to talk about, Down syndrome. So there, somebody brought it to my attention that there's some states trying to pass laws that makes aborting Down syndrome babies illegal. Now, there's some countries that if the baby's found out to have Down syndrome, it's automatically aborted. Now, that is near and dear to my heart.
Nope.
That's all near and dear to my heart. Okay.
Yep.
The reason why it's near and dear to my heart is I have a son that has Down syndrome.
That's your boy. Yep. That's your boy.
He is a gift. He is the biggest gift I've ever had in my life. And at the end of the day, I don't think anything should be made illegal because I do believe that we're a society of options, but it's also a fucking travesty that some areas of the world will automatically abort Down syndrome. That to me, that is inhumane in every sense of the word. Do you know what I mean?
Right. But here's the whole thing. The one stance that I have on it is, because like you're saying, you're talking about, making it illegal. I'm much more far right than you on the majority of everything. When it comes to abortion, I'm still pretty wide right, but I understand there are circumstances where that may be a choice that someone needs to make. It's a last resort choice. The thing is, these abortion clinics out there, they don't give a shit. They could care less, man. It's money in the pocket. It's money. The thing, a person's own doctor. There are doctors out there in hospitals that can still handle these procedures. If it's made to be illegal in an abortion clinic setting, which I think it should be, I think abortion clinics should be shut down everywhere. I think that if it's an emergency, if it's if it's life, if it's to protect the life of the mother, and it's a choice, a last resort choice that you have to make, that should still be between that should still be between a woman and her doctor. Okay? They don't care about the procedure and how it's handled in these places. There's a lot of women that go through severe damage aborting children.
there's a lot more to it. There really is a lot more to it. But I'm right down the middle on it. And I know that you are more conservative on several things than I am. I mean, not guns. Me and you are. I mean, even most Democrats I know are right where we are when it comes to guns. That's why they don't have any support to do anything with them. Like once again, when it comes to guns, you can't legislate crazy. And most gun laws that they've tried to implement wouldn't have ever stopped any of these mass shootings. That's the thing. The only thing you're going to do is hinder rights of legal, abiding citizens, and that, that's pretty much it. There is a whole lot of left and right. And I told somebody that I would say something good about Nancy Pelosi today.
What?
I did.
Is there's something good to say about her?
Yep, there is something good to say about Nancy Pelosi. And something interesting is going to be happening with abortion. Did you read about the Supreme Court case?
You got to hit me with this one. I think I have, but while on vacation, I've tried to avoid a lot.
I don't blame you. Okay, so before I tell you the good thing about Nancy Pelosi, the Supreme Court's getting ready to hear a case. I can't remember which state it is or the details. I should have had my more shit together, but anyway, you guys can get that in and look it up. They're going to hear a case on abortion, saying that is it legal to completely outlaw abortion after the 13-week period. So that's going to be a big, big case, because if they rule that it's not illegal, then you're going to have a lot of red states passing legislation to where you can't have an abortion after 13 weeks. So that's going to be a really, really important case. They're not going to come up with a decision until either the fall or next year, but they're hearing that case. That's going to set a big standard right there.
So 13 weeks puts it into this, let's see, basically 3 months. That's the second trimester, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
I forget how that stuff works. Yeah, that's women understand that shit.
Yeah, but that's the case that they're hearing, and that's definitely going to set a precedent for what's to come when it comes to abortion. There's a couple things that the Supreme Court needs to hear. One, in my opinion, is taking marijuana off the Schedule 1 list.
Absolutely.
You got meth. I think meth's a Schedule 2, Schedule 3 drug, right?
Yeah.
So meth can run around, okay, and do all the bad shit that they do, but according to the federal law, they're less bad than marijuana. Marijuana, according to our federal government, is a Schedule 1, the same as heroin.
But yeah, that's because the pharmaceutical companies aren't going to get involved in marijuana. So there's no money for the pharmaceutical companies to make, and those are the ones that lobby our government.
Exactly. And half the countries pass laws statewide legalizing it for recreational use or medical use, because it does have medical use.
Huge.
And to be on the Schedule 1 list, it has to be deemed highly addictive and no medical uses. Now, so that means they're telling you that meth has a medical use, to keep you awake, I guess. And I guess, because that's what is in Ritalin is meth, right? So there is a use there. But marijuana also has uses, but according to the federal government, it doesn't. So the Supreme Court needs to step in and hear a case.
Yeah, well, I've witnessed it firsthand. If they want to know what it does, they need to come talk to me.
Oh, there's tons of people right there with us and on that, and that's the thing. But the other thing about it is since it's on what it affects, it being on a Schedule 1 list, is if a state that's passed legal laws for it, you can't get funding from a bank to open up a dispensary or a bank won't give you money because it's on a Schedule 1 list. The United States banks, okay, they'll hold money. They'll hold the cartel's money, but they won't allow people to get loans to open up medical marijuana or recreational marijuana businesses. It's 100% bullshit, And like I said before, I know people that's told me they would rather work beside somebody on Suboxone than work beside somebody on marijuana. Now, I don't give a shit. That is shit. Yes, I've had a person tell me that they would rather work beside somebody on Suboxone than somebody on marijuana. Now, look, when they told me that, I realized how smart they were or biased they were as soon as they said that statement. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. I'm so tired of people letting their personal feelings get in the way of intelligence. And letting personal feelings getting in the way of intelligence is one reason why our country's going, period. Do you know what I mean?
That's absolutely insane. I mean, that's just it. God, I've had so many friends in my lifetime that have smoked marijuana. And then I've had people that I've known that have gotten involved with much heavier drugs. And I've seen the difference between both of them.
Well, just alcohol, man. I don't think alcohol.
Oh God, yeah, just alcohol. Well, I've seen people who, they get funny. They get little louder and stuff like that. More out. A little more. They'll be a little more direct with things that they say. And then I've seen people who get flat out freaking mean, want to fight. All that crap. Two totally different people.
Yep.
I've never seen two sides to marijuana. I've seen one side. I've seen a mellow, calm, where's the closest Hardee's and is it open 24 hours? I've seen that side of marijuana.
Now,
I've never seen a negative side to marijuana.
Well,
I don't think. I don't know the statistics. I don't think anyone has ever OD'd on marijuana.
Well, the other thing about marijuana is even if people don't want to do it or whatever, I understand. That's cool. But they can't argue the fact that right here in West Virginia, we do not have, the coal mines in the southern part of the state used to generate tons of tax revenue based on, there was tons of incomes to tax for revenue. So we had better streets, better infrastructure. Now that money in the coal mines have dried up. We're not getting any tax revenue from those people anymore. So we're driving on shitty streets. We're driving on, you can see the infrastructure. You can see the effects where we're looking more and more like Flint, Michigan, and less like, the West Virginia I grew up in. And that's because of tax. So let's generate new tax revenue. Let's generate new tax revenue. Marijuana is the obvious way to generate new taxable income, new tax revenue to fix all this stuff. Yep. Plus, it can help with people in all the drug overdoses. You can kill so many birds with one stone. But yet, because we live in the Bible Belt and marijuana is the devil, it's a gateway drug.
That's not why.
Because of all of that, we drive on shitty streets. You once again, it comes down to intelligence.
Dude, that's not why. That's not why.
I know. And the other argument is what have our drug laws done? There's been a war on drugs. Okay. Drugs won that war, Brian. Drugs won that war. What good have the laws against drugs done? What good have they done?
Yep. Absolutely nothing.
Most of the time, I think it's like 80% of drug overdose deaths were coming from legal prescribed medication. Not illegal drugs, but legal prescribed medication.
But that's where it all comes from, that marijuana will never be legalized. The pharmaceutical company will lose so much money if it becomes legalized.
Yep. When it originally passed when it originally passed in West Virginia, the only way you were going to be able to take marijuana is in pill form. When it originally passed. Now you think about that. State that Oxycontin killed our state, man. Killed it. In a state where there was more Oxycontin pills prescribed by doctors than there are people, okay?
Yep.
And that's a true statistic. They want us to be taking marijuana by pill form. I swear to God, people need to quit being biased, quit letting their emotions get in the way, and start looking at facts.
They need to open their eyes and quit trusting the government, quit trusting the news, and start seeing stuff for what it really is. You want to know something about, if you're ill-informed about marijuana and you really want to know what it's capable of, talk to someone that that has had someone go through cancer.
Yeah.
And they have used marijuana. Yep. They will change your mind. It changed mine.
Exactly.
I was totally against it. Growing up, I tried it a couple times when I was younger. Of course, there it goes again. Of course, it made me all paranoid, and so the paranoia, got to me worse than anything else. And I decided it wasn't for me. I became against it because of that. But I had friends that did it that I saw, didn't affect them, whatever. They were good friends. It didn't change the type of person that they were. So I was fine with that. The thing is, though, once I actually truly became informed about marijuana, once I saw what it was capable of for someone with cancer in severe pain, dealing with total sickness, with just pure misery, and I saw it take the pain away, take the nausea away, create a hunger that they didn't have when they were so sick, allow that person to sleep all night long. I changed. I completely changed. I support it 150%. I will argue, to the top of my lungs how wrong they are for not allowing it to be legal.
Hey, but remember, Brian, it's a Schedule I substance while people can get Suboxone, which is synthetic heroin, on everybody's tax dollars. That's the world we live in, and it's bullshit. But anyway, I'm going to change gears. I'm going to go back to the Nancy Pelosi. So I said I was going to say a good thing about Nancy Pelosi, and here it is. For those of you that don't know, the next Olympics is being held in Beijing, okay? Beijing is in China. Nancy Pelosi said that all politicians should boycott going to those Olympic Games because of the genocide and human rights issues that China does against its own people. And I 100% agree with Nancy Pelosi. I agree. I absolutely agree. But it's so weird how I couldn't believe she said it, but she said it. She held a press conference and said it. And I agree with her. They should boycott the Beijing Olympics in China. I mean, China is not a friendly country. They treat their people like shit. They completely commit genocide against Christians, against Muslims. They do it against anybody. There's all kinds of human rights issues in China. And I 100% agree with her on that, And I was talking to a couple buddies of mine about that, and they couldn't believe it. They could not believe that I agreed with Nancy Pelosi when I said that. But like I said, we got to quit looking at party affiliation and start looking at what ideas that people have and what policy is. Don't look at the guy that's smiling at you. The guy that's smiling is the guy that's smiling while he's screwing you. The guy that's right there telling you exactly what comes from here is the guy that you may not like, but he's not the one that's going to screw you when you turn your back. That's what people really need to realize, and they need to start following policy. Don't go by what somebody says. Follow the policy that they're putting forward.
Joe Biden's policy is shit.
Yes, go by their policy. If you look at your policies, like for instance, here's a perfect example. One politician said, when somebody shows up to our border and tries to claim asylum, we should let them in the country and wait their court date. Although it may take 6 months for them to get into court, they're going to live in our country illegally. Most of them never show up to their court dates, so we have an illegal American, right? Illegal immigrant. Well, the other guy says that negotiates a deal with Mexico that people claim asylum, they can wait in Mexico for their court date. Which policy is better? Which policy is going to de-incentivize people coming and just claiming asylum?
Yep.
It comes down to that. One party wants sensible gun laws. The other party wants to ban online gun sales, wants to ban online ammo sales, wants you to have a license to buy ammo. The other party wants to keep it how it is. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to start looking at policy.
Well, here's
somebody has R or a D beside their damn name.
Well, here's the one thing too, and I mean, this just should make Democrats look like freaking idiots. Joe Biden had no policy for 47 years in office. His policy was shit. He rode on the back of Obama's policy for 8 years, and so some people accepted Joe Biden. Joe Biden was an asshole. He made some of the most racist comments that any politician running today could have possibly made in his past.
The crime bill in the 90s, which locked African Americans than anything.
Yes, and yet, wait a minute. Trump was racist, but the same people that screamed racism, racism, racism voted for a man that was friends, was close. They voted for a man that was close to Byrd. Well, listen, are you kidding me?
KKK. But I want to bring up a point. Let's look at policy. One man sponsored the 90s crime bill, which locked up a record amount of African Americans. The other man signed the First Step Act, which freed 90% of the people that got freed was African American. Policy.
Yeah.
The man who signed the First Step Act was Donald Trump, which
For
freed
nonviolent crime.
Yep, which freed blacks. Joe Biden locked them up in record numbers and signed the bill and sponsored it. It's all about policy. That's the thing. People have to start paying attention to policy. And when I mean that, you can't go by the nightly news. Nightly news did not cover that it had the pipeline had bipartisan support in Congress not to lift sanctions on Russia, and Joe Biden just removed the sanctions. Nightly news didn't cover that. Nightly news hasn't covered the shit with Hunter Biden. It doesn't matter. Hunter Biden don't matter, but yet Trump's kids mattered for some reason. Just follow that. Just follow that. That's all I ask people. Follow that, and it can. Good things can happen, but it's pretty cool because, man, I had a freaking awesome week this week. I want to talk about the week I had. Since being back here in Madison, I've really rekindled a whole lot of old relationships. I've been working on rekindling a lot of old relationships. I've been playing music with people, been hanging out with people. I've been absolutely having a damn ball this week, rekindling these old relationships, and it's been a very eye-opening. It's been very enjoyable for me to be doing this stuff, and and just enjoying playing music again. It sucks. It sucks that I've been seeing people getting attacked. I've been seeing people using family members against one another, and just a bunch of stupid shit like that. People need to be adults, grow up. And once again, I can't stress this enough. I want to say this: don't use kids to cause an adult suffering, because what you're doing is causing the kid to suffer, and that should be child abuse.
Yep, absolutely.
That should be child abuse. Look, you're using a kid to hurt an adult. The adult's going to suffer, but who's really going to suffer is the kid. That's child abuse.
Well, the bullshit part is
kids to punish adults, because the kids are the ones suffering, not adults. I could never do that to somebody. I will never do that to somebody. But I know a few people. I'm not going to name names, but by God, one day I may, that use kids to hurt somebody else. Who do you think suffers the most? The kid. Yeah.
The big thing is the one thing I've got to say about that is the court systems played a lot in that. They allowed that to happen a ton to people. They allowed that to happen, and it's bullshit. Courts need to start calling it out for what it is when they see that kind of crap happening, and they need to hold parents responsible for using their children as a weapon.
Absolutely. That needs to be an accountability tactic. When people are putting their kids to be in daycare for 9 hours, when there's an available great parent that the kid wants to be around more than anybody alive, and the person to hurt that person sticks the kid in daycare versus with the parent, you need to be held accountable.
Yep.
Period. Because that's bullshit. And, and I don't think there's anybody that would argue that until it's the person that wants to actually do that. And the type of person that would do that, can you honestly imagine? They're only out for themselves. If somebody can do that, they're only out for themselves. They don't care about that shows that how concerned are they about the kid? You're going to stick a kid in daycare for 9 hours when they can be with somebody that the kid loves more than anything. That, like I said, I hope to God that we get back to the accountability in that. There is a new law in West Virginia now that gives all parties, the goal is to give parties 50-50. Now everybody has, both parties have equal rights under that new law in West Virginia, and that's the way it should be, because the kids should never be punished for the bullshit that their parents want to do to each other. And that's something you're never going to see me do. I'll never do that. I will always do the best I can with my kids and to support what's best for them without giving a shit, of hurting somebody or using kids to hurt somebody. I mean, my God, be an adult, man. It takes two to tango, people. It takes two to tango. Do the right thing. Split things fair. Be fair with people. Don't try to attack people because you got a damn chip on your shoulder, especially when other people as dirty. It's all bullshit. I'm so sick and tired of manipulation. I'm sick and tired of people cheating and trying to why knowingly cheating and attacking the other people and saying that they're a son of a bitch. It's all bullshit. And once again, You want to spot a manipulator. If you want to spot, look, this is Nathan's advice to everybody right here, guys. If you want to spot a narcissist, if you want to spot a manipulator, when somebody's trashing somebody to you or a significant other, okay, ask them. So what do you like about that person? What's good about that person?
Yep.
You know, if somebody's never said anything good about that person to you and only trash somebody to you, they're manipulating you. They're trying to make you think horrible shit. You know, people don't do that. People that are down the middle will say, hey, Nathan or Brian is a bald asshole or an asshole, but guess what? He's also a damn good guitar player. You know what I mean? Or Brian really does do this well. You can always spot a narcissist because all they do is know how to bash people and talk.
Yeah, Nathan is an asshole, but he sucks a mean dick.
What in the world, dude? My God. Look, okay. Here's how I know I'm not. All right. Here's August. I hope we get banned for this shit. You can't say anything. You can't even bring up the word be straight banned anymore. I mean, God, I wish we could protect everybody that way. I'm not gonna say not bad. I like gay people. I love them to death. I have no issue with them. None at all. I absolutely support gays 100%. You want to get married? Awesome. I don't care. Okay. But here's how I know I'm not. 2 reasons I know I'm not gay. 1, could you pay me $100,000 to suck a penis? You give me $100. You give me $100,000. I'll do 2 at the same time. Okay. But you cannot pay me to enjoy it. I'll hate everything. That's how I know I'm not gay.
We have so gone in the strangest direction possible.
You couldn't pay me to do it. You couldn't pay me to like it. So I know I'm not gay. The other reason is I could never. I've looked at my hairy butt in the mirror.
You got that saying from me.
Looking at somebody's hairy butt and finding love.
You got that saying from me. I know it.
I mean, I'm looking at my hairy butt. It's disgusting. I couldn't be attracted to that. Like, come on. But if you are attracted to it and attracted to some hairy butt and goatees on the nutsack, that's cool.
Your thing. Yeah, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Whatever.
With you, buddy. I'll hang out with you, and you can even joke about it around me. Give me hugs. I don't give a shit. I'm comfortable knowing I'm not gay. It doesn't bother me to be around gay people. Some of the funniest, best people I've met have been gay. Okay, my only issue with the gay stuff is how they're wanting to shove it down your throat constantly. They want you know, not necessarily gay people in general, but the media. You know what I mean? That's
absolutely my only problem. I have worked, I have worked with gay people. I have had friends who had gay friends. I've been around them, and I'm telling you, I mean, they can be some of the most fun, hilarious, I mean, I have no problem. I have known them my entire freaking life, even when, I mean, of course, I was a teenager in the 80s when you could kind of tell someone was a little bit different, but it wasn't all open as it became. And the thing is we knew when those people came out after we got older, there wasn't a single one of us that went, "Oh my God, I'm shocked."
Yeah.
It's like we knew.
And nobody cared.
No.
Like, cool, man. Nobody cares. We knew it anyway. Cool. I mean, I've worked in retail for 22 years. I've waited on every kind of person under the sun. And I've never judged anybody by what they look like, how they dress. And I'm going to go to a story. And you may know this. You probably know this story. Me and you worked together at Road Shop. So I was working at Circuit City Road Shop. I was a 19-year-old kid. Okay. I was the only one in the road shop that night. It was I was closing. I was the only one there. A guy came in with a similar tie-dye like this, but only purple. Grateful Dead shirt, hair down to here, total bum. He came in driving a brand new car. He came in and spent $10,000 with me that night.
Yep.
He got his dad kicked. His dad died, left his money in his inheritance. So he came in to buy all this shit and was driving to California to buy a boat and sail up and down the coast for the rest of his life. That's what he told me. Most people would have saw him and ran the other way, not waited on him because, hey, he's not spending any money. I waited on him. I didn't judge him. He spent 10 grand with me. I made a shit ton of commission off the sale. And that's what happened. I mean, I've had doctors fill out credit applications that made $350,000 a year that got turned down.
Yep.
You know,
never judge a book by its cover at all.
And never judge a person by what they believe.
Right. I agree.
The true types of people, I mean, there's very few types of people that I can consider myself not liking. You know, the type of people there's two types of people. One type of person I don't like is a fucking cheater. I can't stand cheaters. I can't stand people lying to their spouses and wreck multiple homes. You know, I mean, I can't stand that shit. That is bullshit. You know, if you're going to cheat, get divorced first. Do whatever. Don't be wrecking people's
Exactly.
homes.
End it first.
How can you look somebody in the eye and say, "Oh, I swear to you, I didn't cheat. I've never done nothing like that," but the motherfucker's doing it. That's not in me to do. That is not in my character. Look, once again, bald asshole, ugly bald asshole. Okay, it is not in me to go have a married woman over at my house and me being married and cheating on. I hate those types of sons of bitches. I also hate politicians that lie to you with this on their face, like Obama did, while they're screwing you. You know, that type of liar, I can't stand. You know, like I said, people think I'm an asshole because I tell them how it is.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like,
dude, one thing I got to say real quick, what you're kind of talking about there with the smile on the face thing. Listen, anyone out there, all they need to do is listen to Joe Biden when he gives one of his dumbass speeches.
They get bored.
He talks, but I mean, he talks down to everyone like they're little children, like he's trying to convince them of something. He uses that such a dull, you know, quiet, you know, like, it's okay. You know, we need to do things this way. Well, it's best if we handle things this way. He's trying to convince you all into believing his bullshit. Do people not see this crap?
I guess they don't, man. I mean, most people do, but we see it because we watch it, and we're not even Democrats who voted for him. People who voted for him don't watch it. I know how to smell. I know how to smell bullshit. They put him to sleep. It's just the fact that he wasn't Trump. He doesn't say mean things. He's not offensive. That's all it is. It's not that they like Joe Biden. Nobody likes Joe Biden. I have not had one person tell me they like Joe Biden. But yet, and that's the key, though. How do you get 80 million votes if nobody likes him? Did that many people truly hate Trump? That's why he got elected. So you're telling me hate is more than love? Because Trump had people love him. The dude had parades, boat parades. I saw a boat parade that went on for miles, nothing but Trump boats.
Yep.
Biden he couldn't fill up a fucking grade school gymnasium.
Well, here's another thing. I don't know what you've noticed down in, you know, your neck of the woods, but in my area, then the Biden and Harris signs, the Biden and Harris bumper stickers, they're gone.
Oh,
people have to have ripped them out of their yard. Yeah, they've had to have hid them, pulled them off of their vehicles. They don't want anyone to know that they supported this crap anymore.
No,
I think they know. I think they know we're ready to put our feet up their ass.
And I guarantee you that none of those people are watching our show. But if those types of people are our show, just because you took the Biden-Harris bumper sticker off your car, I see you wearing a mask in your car alone. I know who you voted for, okay? It's okay. You know, if you're driving a convertible wearing a fucking mask, I know who you voted for. And it's a sad thing that most people know.
Yep, but, it's true.
You know, but no, it is. I've had an awesome week this week. I really have. I mean, between the music, friends, hanging out again, being able to do stuff like that, I've really enjoyed it. You know, I've been around my son a lot this week, and I'm telling you what, the best thing, and from the bottom of my heart, the best thing to ever happen to me is being a father. Being a father. When that little dude looks at me, you can see it, and I can feel it, and that's been the best thing ever in my life to happen to me is have a son. And you know, I'm going to confess. I'm going to make 100% confession on this channel. You know, when he was born, before he was born, we had no idea he had Down syndrome. I didn't know he had Down syndrome until 5 minutes, 10 minutes after he was born. The doctor came to me and said, "Hey, well, while he was being born, there's something going on with your baby." And we're like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh my God, what do you mean there's something going on with our baby?" He was born. Miracle happened. I felt the chills when he was born, man. I could feel the excitement. I mean, I have never felt nothing like that watching him being born. And then 10 minutes later, the doctor came in and said, your son has Down syndrome. And the way I reacted that day is the biggest regret I'll ever have in my life, because I didn't understand. My mind went to get off your damn phone, Brian. We're doing a show. My mind went to worst case scenario, and I freaked out. I didn't understand. I didn't have anybody to help me through it. My parents were out of town, and the only thing that people kept telling me was, God has a plan. Trust the plan. And that was the last thing I needed to hear, because I didn't understand. So I said things, I did things that I regret to this day. But I tell you what, I will fight for that little dude until there is no breath in my body. I love him. I see him. I see myself in him. And it is the most beautiful thing. He is a miracle, an absolute miracle for me. And he has he's changing my life, man, every day. And this week he changed my life, and I tell you, like I said, that's my confession about it. And for the parents out there that are expecting a baby, if that ever happens to you, if you're ever in a spot where, your baby's getting ready to be born and he's born, and after the fact, you find something out like that. Look, it's a miracle, guys.
Yep.
It's a miracle.
Absolutely.
It's placed there for a reason. And I didn't understand it. I did not understand it. Nobody was helping me understand it. It's God's plan. I'm sorry. That didn't work for me. Okay. That did not work for me. I didn't need to hear that. I needed to know what Down syndrome was. I didn't even know what it consisted of. I had no idea, man. And I went and literally less than 2 weeks after my son was born, I could have took a paid leave of absence from my employer and been off a whole month to take care of this. Instead, I go back in 2 weeks while I'm at work with my boss. I find out he does have Down syndrome, and I was a mental wreck. I had no business going through any of that. And that's why I don't like retail. Retail companies only care about their bottom line. And If you show work, they don't give a shit. If they would have cared about me, they'd have been like, Nathan, you take the time you need. We're here. You don't even know if your son completely really does have Down syndrome yet. He's on oxygen. My son was on oxygen for 3 months after he was born. And I went back to work as a retail manager. And as a retail manager, I'm sorry, when you're a retail store manager, you go to work every day an empty toilet. Okay. You get shit on all day, right? Your staff shits on you. Your boss is shitting on you. Your customers are shitting on you. And by the end of the day, you're a toilet full of shit. Okay. So not only was I dealing with everything of my son being on oxygen, he was in ICU for weeks. Not only was I dealing with all of that, I was having to run a store and deal with all the shit. And that can cause somebody to crack. And and people in my life was showing me no empathy. People in my life, and that's been the biggest. I've always surrounded my people that doesn't know how to empathize with me or show me empathy. And that's as cold. That was so cold. The lack of empathy that I was being shown at the time by everybody. And, it's cool being where I've been the past week and 2 months, because I've been able to reflect on the lack of support, the lack of empathy, and taking advantage. You take my money, then you bitch at and you take people's support, and then take people's money, and you bitch that it doesn't mean anything. Like, what the hell did you bring to the table then? What did you do for that person? Other than cause them shit and tell them you didn't appreciate them. Yep. Yeah, I don't want to go on a rant about any of that bullshit. But like I said, dude, I'm a healthy guy right now. I bought a weighing scale, right? Bought a weight scale. I weigh 5 more pounds than I weighed when I was 29 years old right now. I'm in great shape. I'm walking 5 miles a day. Haven't had a drink of alcohol in a month, and I'm never going to have a drink of alcohol again. I'm done with alcohol in my life, just like I was done with smoking cigarettes. And I'm here. I'm clear. And I'm ready to start the next chapter of my life. I'm going to get ready to get a high-paying job. I'm going to take care of my son. I'm going to kick some freaking ass. And I'm going to play some damn music.
That's the way to do it.
Do the best. Fuck the haters. That's all I got.
That's the way to do it.
You know what I mean? Fuck the cheat. Guys that go cheat on their families. You know what? Fuck you. You're unloyal pieces of shit. and your day is coming. That's simple.
I have to agree with you 100%. And like you in a good bit, I had one of the best weeks of my life this past week. Me and my wife, like I was talking about, went down to Tennessee. We were planning on only spending 4 days down there. We ended up spending 6. We just didn't want to come back. Anybody out there that listens to our show, I'm telling you, if you're sick and tired of the shit that you're dealing with around where you live, if it's a close enough drive for you, or even if you all just want to get out and go somewhere and enjoy life, enjoy freedom again, get your butts up to Tennessee, down to Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg areas where we were. Absolutely amazing. Hey, rates on hotels right now, it's still kind of considered the off season. The rates are absolutely amazing during the week. Now, weekends, it's pretty high. We've been going during the week, and it's just been cheap as crap, and we have absolutely loved it. So
next time you go, I want to go. I'm coming.
We'll drag you up there with us. Like I said, I'd like to get a ton of people together up there, and I mean, just go all over the place, enjoying the sights, having fun, and spending good time with good people.
So I wanted to, since some people's watching our show, I do want to talk about one of the things I have in the works right now is I've got my best friend growing up. Well, not my best friend, but one of my really good friends I've known since 7th grade. He's an African-American. I've been extremely close with him. I haven't talked to him in 15 years. I run into him last week, and I started jamming on the acoustic guitar, and he starts rapping. Me and him's been writing songs. So I'm going to be jamming some music. He's going to be rapping. We're going to start playing some shows soon. He's all game for it. And I mean, that's one of the things I've got in the works right now. I have
a request.
Yeah.
I want to hear you guys do an Ebony and Ivory cover.
Well, I'm thinking about doing a cover of some Tom McDonald. You know what I mean?
That would be absolutely awesome. That would.
Something that we've been working on. We've got about 3 or 4 songs now that we're working on that are kind of in the works. But yeah, me and him's gonna start playing some shows in Charleston around. Me on acoustic and him bringing it. Him laying the funk. I reached out to a buddy of mine that's a drummer who's got a band together, and I'm hoping to be able to. I'm really hoping to be able to go jam with them and be in a rock band again and play some music. I mean, that's what I'm definitely gonna be working on. And I hope you guys can. Check it out. I'm always posting music that I've done in the past on my Facebook page because, I do play all the instruments and I do record a lot of stuff. And, I haven't, like I've said before, I haven't had encouragement by anybody real close to me in years to do this or support, so I'm going to go get it now. I'm 40 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I'm ready to play some damn music and get back out there. And that's exactly what the hell I'm going to do, man. I'm so excited that I'm that close to being able to do it again. I'm hoping it's 5/22 now. I'm hoping by this time next month, I'll have a gig lined up. So, I know
that'd be awesome.
Yep. I know all the bar owners, 3 of the same owners in the clubs I played before. And I know down at the V Club where I've played numerous times in the Huntington V Club bar, it's the same bar owner there. So one phone call, they'll book me. So I'm going to be branching out, and I've got a lot to look forward to as far as that stuff goes. So, like I said, I mean, anybody been watching our show, they can tell that I had some drinks in the past on our show, and I almost took them down because it's embarrassing to me now being here and clear.
You were never. Yeah, it never showed bad in any of our shows, man. I know that.
Well, I mean, like I said, I've been put down a lot for that type of stuff, and I'm done with that bullshit. I'm done with it. So, look, I'm ready to live life again. But I'm trying to change the subject from just political stuff on here because a lot of people don't like politics, and I know a couple of my friends have tuned in. It's like, hey, man, why don't you discuss stuff rather than politics? So. Best way so the best thing for me to do is just talk about stuff that comes from here. And, like I said before, hey, if you guys are feeling a little bit out of shape, start walking. Just go walking every day. Start small and just make it. I mean, I feel better at the end of every walk. Like I said, start learning how to play a musical instrument and stick with it. Branch out. I'm 40 years old. I'm trying to learn new skills. I'm never going to stop learning new skills, especially computer programs and been putting together a lot of videos in Adobe Premiere and learning how to use that. You know, hey, reach out to me. I really wish the audience would leave us some comments and give us some subjects you guys want to hear us talk about. If
We've
you want
been we've been getting a chunk. We've been getting a chunk of comments today. Your friend Paul Ramsey, man, he has been watching us. He's been watching us religiously. Yeah, and I want to give him a big shout out. He's been commenting like crazy. We had one on here from Jerry Dean Garrett. You know, thrilled to get comments from you guys out there, man. We absolutely love it. My buddy Charles, he's been pretty religious about watching us. He threw a comment out there. My buddy Andy is usually on here commenting away. Haven't seen him yet, but Andy has not been missing our show. To all of you all out there that follow our show, friends of Nathan's, friends of mine, reach out to each of us. You know, friend us separately. We'll be glad to have you all on there. You know, we absolutely love building this base with everybody. We love talking about these things that are important to us and sharing them with everybody. We like knowing what your guys' feelings are on stuff.
Yeah, give us your opinions. Give us subjects to talk about. And if you want to know what I think about somebody, ask me. I mean, if you're like, hey, what do you think of this person? And I think they're a fucking asshole. I'm going to be like, that person's an asshole.
Yep.
You know, just like, you know, like for instance, Lady Gaga, right? Lady Gaga's a talented lady. Can't stand her.
She's a kook.
She's too much. You know, I mean, she's too political. Like, you know, get out of the politics and focus on your art, and I might get back into you. You know, and I'll talk. You know, I mean, ask me. You know, about shit. You know, ask me what I think about people. I'll give you my honest opinion. And you know, there's a lot of good. You know, there's a lot of good. Like I said about Lady Gaga, I'm just going to talk about what I think about her. Lady Gaga is extremely talented. She's a true pop artist, right? Can play instruments, write your music. She can dance. She's very attractive. But she really turns me off with the political bullshit that she keeps getting herself involved in.
She needs to shut her mouth.
Yeah, that turns me off. And that's what I don't like about her. But I want to bring up something. Notice that I talked about Lady Gaga, my opinion on her, but I gave you my opinion on what she does really good. And then I told you what I don't like. Remember, narcissists would just knock Lady Gaga every time you saw them. They wouldn't say anything good about them. They'd never say anything good about them. That's what a narcissist does. That's what controlling, manipulating people do. You know what I mean? It's that simple. And look, I'm going to start calling sons of bitches out when they're trying to manipulate people, because that's the only way to get to the bottom of it. Call them the fuck out. You know what I mean? And I'm going to start calling people out left and freaking right, man. That's how we end it. That's how we start making improvements in the world. You know, people want to call me an asshole. Well, guess what? I'm going to be the asshole calls your ass out when you're a manipulator. I'm going to be the asshole puts you in your place when you're, you know, doing shit cheating on your family that loves you. I'm going to call you out. And I promise you, I'm going to do this. I think everybody needs to start doing that. Quit defending pieces of shit. Let's call them pieces of shit. Okay. Let's call
That's
them.
Right. And let's start. Yeah. And if you want to say something offensive, say it. If it offends somebody, who freaking cares?
Yeah. So be it.
They'll get over it. If they won't get over it, they'll find a crying space somewhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Sticks and stones. Remember the sticks and stones saying? That's how I grew up. You know?
That's the way it was.
Saying the wrong pronoun. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Now it's like Demi Lovato wants to be called they. If you listen to Demi Lovato, please stop. Make her go away. Okay?
Bite us, Demi. We're just gonna call you dipshit.
She wants to be called they. You want that shit to stop? Quit supporting them. Quit supporting these people.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it, man. Hollywood has killed me. I mean, man, biggest movie buff ever. Clear from the time I was a kid. Loved it. I am so sick of the crap. I don't support Disney anymore in any way possible. You know, the Hollywood actors that are out there, tons of them. Love the movies they make. You know, I mean, just that was a big part of my life. Yeah. And the thing is I can't stand to listen to these people anymore when they come out and try and talk. They're a bunch of freaking morons. Yeah, I'm sick of it.
Dude, but I can't see them and forget what they did say or what they did do. I can never forget that Lady Gaga played at Biden's inauguration and said the stupid shit she said. I cannot forget that. When I see Lady Gaga, that's what I remember. You know what I mean? Yep. It's just like when they see Metallica, they're reminded of Napster. Okay, I understand that, but they were right. That's the thing. Metallica was 100%
that's me.
right about Napster. What is it?
I said, that's me.
Yeah. But the thing about Metallica is they were 100% right about Napster. They were spot on about Napster because look at music now. It's disposable garbage. You know?
No,
But
it is.
Metallica, as you can see, right there you go. Mighty M. All right, the Mighty M. Yeah. I have my reasons for loving Metallica. Like I said before, they motivated me to play guitar like Michael Jordan does kids play basketball. And that's what they did for me. For that, they will always have my allegiance unless they play a Joe Biden's fucking inauguration. I'll never listen to them again then. I promise you that. Okay, I'm a man of my word.
Hey, before we go, we got a shout out from let's see, Chase Enox.
Yeah.
So we want to give a shout out back. And other than that, dude, we have been going for
I know
an hour.
Shit I gotta do.
Yep, that's it. We gotta get back to our regular lives. We enjoyed as usual with everybody. If you don't catch us live, watch the clips of our show that are on there.
Some views, share this shit. By God, we'll get better at it. Once again, guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but I want to share a story. So I set up the show once where I had my professional mic and mic preamps. I reset up our show again. I'm using my phone. This is my cell phone that I'm talking to and streaming from now versus my my camera and my mic before. And we're making it. Me and Brian are doing this all by ourselves. We have no help. We haven't, it's just 100% us. So, I mean, like I said, guys, I want you to be a part of this. Anybody wants to come on our show and call me a son of a bitch, an asshole, and argue with me for 20 minutes, by God, we'll go at it. If you're a Democrat and want to talk about your Democrat ways, I will never insult you. I'll be glad to ask you questions and we can debate viewpoints. I would love to debate a different viewpoint. Change my mind, like Steven Crowder. You know what I mean? I will never knock you for how you believe.
Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely.
It's usually when people insult me. I only insult when people insult me first, and then I do the I do the 2-punch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
hey, before we go, I got to give out 2 more shout outs, and this is from the trip that we were on. Talked to them down there. They liked our page. I hope they watch our show, and I want to give a shout out to the girls at Hemp Care in Tennessee. Hemp.
Go, guys. Hemp Care.
They helped us just amazing down there. Can't thank them enough. The girl that worked with us, as sweet, helpful, absolutely love everything they did for us. And I got to give one more shout out. He liked our page too. He's from down there in Tennessee. His name's Jacob Brantley. He was our waiter at Dick's Last Resort.
Hey, hold on. I loved his Boner Garage. He put Boner Garage on your hat.
My God.
Dude, if you're watching, the guy that did that, if you're watching, Brian definitely is amazing. Boner Garage. You nailed it, man. You absolutely.
He was hysterical. He was hysterical. He was absolutely the asshole beyond all assholes that we could have had down there. He made it so much fun. We absolutely loved it. So I got to give a shout out to Jacob Brantley too.
I don't know what's going on with my camera, but I'm very, very small now.
Yeah, it was weird. You started cutting out there when you were saying some stuff and it got kind of fuzzy over there on your end. But other than that, guys, we got to go. We got the rest of our lives to get on to. We'll be on here either next weekend, same time, same place, or we may do one sooner. Yep.
And like I said, guys, text us, comment. There we go. I'm big again. I guess even it knows I look ugly and bald asshole. You know what I mean? It doesn't want to see me either.
Hey,
but anyway.
Hey, Nathan's never been big.
Yeah. And more than one way for big. But please, guys, text us, comment, get on our show with us. Let's have some damn fun. Let's blow this shit up. But with that being said, I'm going to turn on some Tom McDonald for you. You all have a wonderful evening, because I don't care where the hell you guys go and what you all got to do, but we got to go. You all have a good night.
hip-hop diet is full of guys who cannot even rap. Facts. Media dividing us by colors, white or black. Facts. If you believe in Jesus, these days Christians get attacked. Facts. If you don't hate police, then everybody thinks you're whack. And everything's so connected. Black Lives Matter got so aggressive. White folks